Alrighty. So this is my coming out story. I'm just gonna get right into it. I feel like I'm gonna talk about, I guess, how I came out to my parents, which was really weird. I grew up Catholic in a conservative town in Jersey, and that definitely affected a lot of things, that religion and conservative area, because I feel like the person that I am right now and the type of personality that I have, I definitely could have just been, it's sad, like I could have just been this person my whole life if I had the people around me that not only accepted other people for who they are, but accepted themselves for who they are. It sucks, but I'm going to get into all that. I'm openly bisexual, but I came out as gay first. So, or I remember the first two of my best girlfriends that I came out to, and this was after high school. I feel like this was like maybe 6 months to a year after high school. So I was like 18, 19 years old. And I remember I came out to them. We had went to go see a movie, and then we went to dinner afterwards. Also, I'm really hungover. I didn't say that. So I feel like I'm gonna really extra jump around, whatever. I came out to them. We are out to dinner. They were like, Steven, what is wrong? Like, something's wrong. And I was like, the first words out of my mouth for the two people that I came out first to was, I'm not gay, but, and then going on to explain probably how gay I really was without saying like, but I'm not gay, right? So shame, guilt, denial, I had all of the stuff. And before that, I was DL. So I was, in my mind, I had pursued acting and music my whole life. So I had a perspective of like, okay, when I make it in music, acting, whatever, I will not come out. Like, I am ready to get married to a girl and whatever, I'll do my thing on the side. I was really thinking that I was not going to tell anyone. And I really feel like that lasted for a little bit of my senior year of high school and right out of high school before I told my two friends. I never had a girlfriend, and I never emotionally abused any girls or anything like that. I did not have a girlfriend and then get with guys on the side. I was getting with one girl and I was doing stuff on the side, but we weren't totally dating. But I definitely know the mindset of being DL, because I definitely was ready to totally go all of the way, have a girlfriend, whatever. So got through that, and I felt like I finally put the pin in it when I told my two friends, because I was very obviously, it was weighing heavy. Me not coming out was definitely weighing heavy on me. I then tell my brother and my cousin next. We're on the boardwalk. It was funny because I think a few weeks before that, I was on Tumblr. And we all remember 2012, 13, 14, like those were the days. And I remember my brother one night coming up behind me, whether to like scare me or whatever, I'm not sure, but I was like, oh my God, he definitely saw my phone. Like, he definitely saw what was on my phone. It was like guys, it was like probably naked men. He didn't say anything, but it was funny. When I came out to them, they were super, super cool about it. They were asking me questions. They were like, oh, well, but you really liked this girl throughout school. Like, you were getting with this girl. And I was like, yeah, like, you know, it is what it is. They were super cool about it. I brought that up to my brother, and he was like, yeah, I do remember seeing that, but I didn't say anything. And I was just going to let it go, like, over my head. And then it led to me coming out to my friends, and specifically telling friends that I knew would tell other people. Like, because I was like, oh, this is like a constant coming out tour. Like, what is this? Told my one best friend as well. I told her up in my room, and she literally was like, could not. She was like, okay, that's so cool. I remember coming out to my friends, started just being out to everyone. Then I had met my one guy friend. So now, growing up, I had mostly girlfriends, and I would have guy friends, but it was only with, like, behind, like, closed doors. Like, they wouldn't tell people really that they were hanging out with me. And it was funny because then when we were by ourselves, they'd be all cutesy, and you could tell they were being themselves compared to when they're with their other real friends. But my one friend, I'd never had a friend fully not only accept me for me, but not care about what other people think, whether they thought he was gay, whether we were dating, not dating. He was just someone who could not care less. I would always get used to revealing more of myself with guys and then them just not being my friend anymore. I always pursued music and acting. When I talk about actively pursuing it, maybe it was something that they deemed feminine, and they would just kind of disappear. So I remember the beginning of that friendship with him. When he constantly proved me wrong, the more that I would release about myself, like, and be more vulnerable, expecting him to not then be there, it was like the opposite. We spent every day with each other. I wound up coming out to him. He could care less, and that's when, for about a year or so, that caused me, I started liking him. And that caused me a lot of, stress and anxiety. I guess that was, the first crush on a straight guy. I was kind of losing my mind a little bit. Like, I didn't know what to do, how to deal with this. I had no gay men to look up to in my life. I did not know. I still had the shame and pain of my sexuality and the guilt and from religion, my parents, where I lived, and so dealing with that was really hard. But that's when I tried to come out to my dad, and it was basically one night I was just losing my mind, and I just dumped it all on him. He was in the kitchen, and I come out to him, and he doesn't say anything. He doesn't really say anything. I then just go upstairs, and he is on the couch looking at a blank television. And I'm I think I even said, with everything that I was going through, I think I said to him, you good? Are you okay? And I just went out for a drive, and we never talked about it. And I'm someone who, again, I would have anxiety and panic attacks before school because I was getting bullied and harassed at school. So this is someone that knew what I'd gone through. And I remember even through school, I said to him one night when I was in probably intermediate school, I said to him, what if what they're saying about me, being called gay, whatever, I did all the plays in school. I would try to be myself as much as possible. What if what they're saying about me is true? And he said to me, you are who God says you are. And even then I was able to decode, yeah, and God says I'm not gay. All the stuff that I would hear him saying growing up, of being, of having his Catholic teachings, having Fox News on. So that caused a lot of just shame, guilt, pain of dealing with my own sexuality. That's how he dealt with it. My mom was okay. She was just I knew, and she did say I love you, but there was never a conversation of I understand how hard this must have been for you. I know who you are. I love you for that. As they say, there's no hate like Christian love. And it just really, it does a doozy on you a little bit. So something that you never get used to. And as you get older, they're surprised when you set boundaries and you're not as close with them. So because I am bisexual, I came out as gay first. And during those times when I was saying and coming out as gay, I had girlfriends that I was also still getting with. And they would tell me Steven, I don't think you're gay. And me, I'm no, I'm gay. I'm 100% gay. No, that's who I am. I would just gaslight them and be I'm not. I didn't really know about being bisexual and knowing that it can be, for some people, fluid. Even though there are people who are 100% gay and lesbian, that journey for me being fluid, even though I am predominantly right now, especially interested in men, and even if I ended up with a man, that is no way to invalidate someone else's bisexuality. Once I learned all of these things, and how I learned I was bisexual was dealing with a DL man who was an absolute sociopath. But I learned a lot about myself, and that situation totally changed my life and kind of was the catalyst to make me fully come to terms with and be comfortable with who I am as a person and in my sexuality. Not a few years, maybe like 5 or 6 years later, I came out as bisexual. And this feels right. Even if I end up with a man, even if there's not as many women that I see that I would get with, or I am sexually attracted to or date, that does not in any way invalidate that I know for a fact that those feelings and that attraction is there. I think that it sucks, like, kind of been reflecting lately, like, if I had the right role models in my life of people who respected themselves for who they were and respected other people for who they are, how much pain and suffering and emotional turmoil could have been saved in my own life. I'm thankful for it. It's made me who I am, but it's, you know, and a lot of people have it worse. Listen, I'm in Jersey. We are a blue state here, but I couldn't imagine what some of these poor kids have to go through in some of these really, really Christian conservative states. That's my coming out story. I hope it wasn't all over the place. I am hungover. So good. Okay, bye.